Broncos country, it's happening. The tides are shifting in Denver, and something special is brewing beneath the surface of those Rocky Mountains. With OTAs behind us and mandatory minicamp around the corner, the energy in the Mile High City is electric. This team isn't just preparing, they're building towards something bigger. Today, we break down the breakout stars, the standout moments, and why this season might just be the start of a Broncos renaissance. The Denver Broncos just got hit with a triple shot of great news, and it couldn't come at a better time. Voluntary OTAs are behind us, and mandatory minicamp is right around the corner. That means real football's getting closer. You can feel it. This team isn't just preparing, they're setting the tone for something bigger. There are high expectations in Denver right now, and while most coaches would try to manage the hype, Sean Payton isn't backing down. In fact, he's doing the opposite, raising the bar and fueling belief in this roster. In this video, we're breaking down the biggest standouts from camp, diving into key takeaways from Coach Payton, and highlighting some moments that should have every Broncos fan fired up. Let's start with Bo Nix. The last time we saw him in pads, he was playing through a broken back and ankle issues and still delivered. Now, he looks like a different beast altogether. You can see it in his build, especially his lower body. He's added strength, and it shows. More importantly, he looks confident. He's been letting it rip during OTAs, launching deep balls all over the field. And those throws, they're not just pretty, they're purposeful. He led the NCAA in deep ball attempts last season, and he's proving that narrative of being a check-down quarterback is flat out wrong. Teammates are already raving about him. The timing, the chemistry, the command, it's all there. And we're seeing flashes of that connection with guys like Jerry Jeudy and RJ Harvey. Big plays are coming, and Bo looks ready. What makes this even more exciting? Continuity. He's working with coaches he's trusted since high school. The same voices in his ear, the same system. That matters. That gives him a head start that most rookie QBs don't get. And then there's Sean Payton, who could easily downplay expectations. But he didn't. In fact, he praised Bo Nix without even being asked. That speaks volumes. Sean Payton had some high praise for Troy Franklin, and not everyone caught it. Why? Because under Payton the doors are shut. No camera crews, no media frenzy. Just football. This isn't Seattle. Payton runs a tight, focused ship, and it's working. He mentioned that while the media wasn't watching, Troy Franklin made some jaw-dropping plays. Explosive ones. The kind that make you sit up and realize this kid is special. Franklin's ability to turn any touch into a big gain is already turning heads inside that building. And Franklin, he's embracing it. He's already switched his jersey from number 16 to number 11 and said it simply, everything feels and looks better in 11. That energy, that's exactly how Broncos fans are feeling right now. We're not just watching this team come together, we're watching it come back. Another young receiver gaining momentum fast is Pat Bryant. Expectations are rising for this guy every single day. One clip showed him adjusting mid-route to make a tough grab. Not every receiver can do that. The body control, the awareness, it all looks next level. And it's no fluke either. Remember last season? The drops in key moments? We saw them. But Bryant, he had just one drop in his entire senior year at Illinois. That reliability matters, and it's already showing up in practice. You can also see Bo Nix trusting him, firing in throws with real zip. That velocity, it's not just hype, it's NFL caliber. People rave about Caleb Williams' arm talent, but what we're seeing from Nix looks just as sharp. This is the most accurate quarterback in college football history we're talking about. He's not just accurate, he's confident, composed, and building instant chemistry with his receivers. And then there's Evan Engram. The hype is real. This is a guy who had 114 catches in his last fully healthy season, not years ago, just recently. Watching him run routes like a wideout with the strength of a tight end, it's easy to see why expectations are sky high again. Engram looks locked in, and when you add that to what we're seeing from Nix, Franklin, and Bryant, it's hard not to feel like something special is building in Denver. Evan Engram doesn't just look like a tight end, he moves like a wide receiver, and that's not something you say lightly. The way he runs routes, the precision in his breaks, it's something we haven't seen at the tight end position in a long time, maybe not since Shannon Sharp. Watch how he drops his hips and stops on a dime, full sprint to a dead stop. That's elite level route running. That's what you expect from a blazing fast receiver, not a tight end built for contact. and yet Engram makes it look effortless. That kind of footwork and fluidity at his size, it's rare, and it's going to make a huge impact this season. When we finally heard from Engram about why he chose Denver, his answer said everything you need to know. He wasn't sold by money or hype. He was sold by belief. He watched Bo Nix's tape on the flight to visit the Broncos and saw something special. A future leader, a star in the making, and then Bo did what real leaders do. He showed up. He met with Engram personally during that visit, sat down for lunch, and made sure Engram felt the vision. That's not normal. You don't often see a young quarterback stepping up like that to recruit, but Bo Nix isn't just any quarterback. He's already stepping into that leadership role, and veterans are noticing. Engram straight up said it. Bo's potential is through the roof. That's why he's here. Not because of the contract, but because he believes in what's being built and who's building it. And it's not just Bo and Engram making noise. Training camp reports are glowing for wide receiver Valle. Shout out to DMVR for capturing some of the best moments, because Valle has been electric. If he plays the way he did early last season, before the injury, he's going to make a real case to start. But that's where things get complicated in the best way. How do you fit him into a receiver room that already includes Marvin Mims, who finished last season on fire, and Courtland Sutton, the heart and soul of this offense? It's a good problem to have, because for years, Denver's offense struggled to find consistency. We've been grinding out wins despite the offense. Now, the weapons are lining up. The quarterback is stepping up. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like the Broncos are about to take the field with purpose and with power. And now, the thought that keeps racing through my mind, the Broncos aren't just building a competitive team, they're about to light up scoreboards while fielding one of the nastiest defenses in football. This team isn't just getting better, it's on the verge of something explosive. Talanoa Hufanga is already living up to the hype, flying around in practice, making plays, showing instincts that can flip a game in a single moment. That kind of energy is contagious, and it's exactly what you want to see from a key defensive piece. And then there's Troy Franklin. What a journey. Just last season, he was watching the first 2 games from the owner's box, suited up in orange and blue, but not in uniform. Fast forward to the season finale in Buffalo. He hauls in the only touchdown of the game on a deep connection with Bo Nix. Full circle moment. Now, he looks ready to explode. If both Bo and Troy pick up right where they left off, look out. This offense is primed for a serious run. And with what we're seeing in camp, a deep playoff push doesn't just feel like a dream. It feels like a goal within reach. Multiple reporters on the ground have said the same thing. One of the players who's standing out the most, Valle. Again, the guy just keeps making plays and proving he belongs in this crowded, competitive offense. But what truly sent chills down my spine? Hearing from Sean Payton. He was under the weather, clearly sick, struggling with his voice, and yet he couldn't stop talking. He was fired up, not short, not irritated, not drained like in the Russell Wilson days when the energy felt off and the chemistry didn't click. This time, Payton was open, passionate, and full of belief in what's coming. And then he said something that hit hard. When asked about the challenge of keeping an elite defense together year after year because of injuries, contracts, and league volatility, Payton didn't hesitate. He didn't hedge. He simply said, I don't expect any defensive volatility this year. Translation, this unit isn't going backward. It's getting better. With Dre Greenlaw in the fold, Talanoa Hufanga roaming the backfield, and the addition of rookie cornerback Jaquan Barner, who already looks like a star, this defense is loaded. He can play inside, outside, wherever you need him. And when you look across the depth chart, there's no weak link. That's the kind of confidence we've been starving for, and now it's real. When DJ Jones was asked why he chose to stay in Denver, his answer spoke volumes. He said, there are no egos here. And that, right there, is the heart of what Sean Payton is building. This isn't a team built around stars demanding the spotlight. It's not about stat padding or headline chasing. This is a brotherhood, a culture where every player on offense, defense, and special teams knows they're part of something bigger. You can't fake that. You can't buy that. And you sure can't build it overnight. But Payton, he's been intentional since day one. He didn't draft players based on hype or headlines. He avoided anyone who chased NIL money. Instead, he brought in leaders, more college team captains than any other franchise in this year's draft. Guys who know what it means to lead, to sacrifice, to put team first. That's not just coach speak, it's the real identity of this roster. And when it's your players saying it, not just your coach, that's when you know it's real. The chemistry is undeniable. Veterans are buying in, young guys are stepping up, and now even Broncos legends are feeling the pull. Champ Bailey showed up to OTAs. Peyton Manning's been around. These guys aren't hanging around other teams' practices. They're showing up in Denver because they feel what's happening. This team is building something special, and the greats who've worn the orange and blue want to be a part of it again, even if just to pass on a word of advice or soak in the energy. When your past legends and your current leaders are both all in, that's how dynasties start. And now, as we look to the next 24 to 48 hours, there's one big storyline everyone's watching. J.K. Dobbins. He's in Denver. And at first there was hesitation, injury history, workload, concerns, but fans are rallying behind the idea, the potential fit, the explosiveness he could bring to the backfield. And honestly, it's hard not to get excited because this team isn't chasing names. They're chasing fit. And if Dobbins joins this squad, healthy, motivated, and surrounded by a culture that prioritizes toughness and team over ego, he might just thrive in a way we haven't seen yet. This is a team with no egos, just hunger, just fire, just football. There are a few reasons why the buzz around J.K. Dobbins coming to Denver feels real and exciting. First, he's still in that prime athletic window, similar to rookie R.J. Harvey. Dobbins isn't some washed-up veteran clinging to a final chance. He's a dynamic runner with untapped potential, especially if he can stay healthy. That's always been the question, right? Can he string together a full season? But here's the thing. He's never worked with a training and performance staff like the one Denver has now. This is the same group that's kept the Broncos among the healthiest teams in the NFL over the last 2 seasons. Sean Payton even said in his press conference, "We're selling players on our training and conditioning. If you buy into it, it'll keep you on the field." And for a guy like JK, that might be the difference between what could have been and a true breakout. Analysts are already saying it. If the Broncos land Dobbins, he might immediately be the second best back in the AFC West. That's not hype. That's based on real film and production. His yards per carry numbers were elite when he was on the field. Now imagine that same player, healthy, motivated, and going up against his old team, the Chargers, twice a year. There's fire there, revenge fuel, and if he's healthy, he's dangerous. This potential signing also sends a clear message to the rest of the league. The Denver Broncos aren't waiting for the future. The window is open, and Sean Payton is going for it. J.K. Dobbins doesn't sign with a rebuilding team. He signs with a team that's ready to punch through the wall, a team that sees a Super Bowl path and wants to attack it at full speed. If Payton believes Bo Nix has cracked that door open, then Dobbins could be the burst of speed that pushes us through. Now, some fans might say, it's just training camp, everyone's optimistic. But let's be real for a second. Take one scroll through NFL Twitter right now. Bad news is pouring in from other camps. Injuries, setbacks, retirements. Over in Detroit, their all-pro center just unexpectedly retired. One of their top linebackers won't be back until November. Hutchinson isn't looking like himself. Chaos is already hitting other teams. But here in Denver, we're not just surviving camp, we're thriving. This isn't blind optimism. This is momentum. This is culture. And it feels like the start of something real. Look around the NFL right now. It's chaos. The Giants had to cancel OTAs because fights broke out on the practice field. That almost never happens in voluntary work. That's not a team that's bought in. That's a team already unraveling. And then there's your Denver Broncos, a young, hungry roster. Zero egos, full buy-in from top to bottom. And you're not hearing that from Sean Payton. You're hearing that from the players themselves. Guys like DJ Jones are coming out and saying, there are no egos here. That's rare. That's culture. Meanwhile, over in Indy, a team we face in week 2, Anthony Richardson is already back on the shelf. That same AC joint that knocked him out last year, it's flared up again. He'll miss all of mandatory minicamp. And this was a quarterback who already struggled with the playbook last season. That's a major setback. Advantage, Denver. Then you look at Washington. Terry McLaurin, one of the league's top wideouts, is in the exact same contract situation as Cortland Sutton. But McLaurin is going to the media and publicly voicing his frustrations. Meanwhile, what's Sutton doing? He's showing up, quiet, focused, locked in with his team, no ego. And look, I'm always for players getting their bag, but the way Sutton is handling things, that's leadership. That's championship mentality. That's the difference in Denver right now. Other teams are cracking, fighting, breaking down, falling apart in OTAs. But the Denver Broncos, we're climbing, we're bonding, we're building something real. And every sign points to a deep playoff run in 2025. Broncos country, we have every reason to believe. Broncos country, it's time to believe again. This team isn't just trying to compete, they're preparing to contend. The culture is changing, the energy is real, and the talent is undeniable. Strap in. The road to redemption starts now. If you bleed orange and blue, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and sound off in the comments. What excites you most about this squad? Because one thing's for sure, we're not just back, we're coming for everything. Let's ride.